We now possess a generative definition of reality. Reality emerges through transformation, selection, and constraint. But one major problem still remains. The framework is already extremely powerful, but it is still abstract. We still lack a measurable physical quantity. If distinguishability creates structure, then how do we measure distinguishability itself? We now introduce a new interpretation. The measurable form of distinguishability is information. We define information as the natural logarithm of accessible distinguishable states. The symbol I represents information. It is the capital letter I, not the letter J. The notation I of S means the amount of information associated with state S. The natural logarithm compresses large growth into manageable structure. It transforms enormous numbers of distinguishable possibilities into stable measurable quantities. Omega sub A of S represents the number of accessible distinguishable states. These are the states that can actually be physically distinguished. Not every theoretical possibility can become physically distinguishable. Only accessible distinctions contribute to information. Information measures the number of distinguishable variants available to a system. More distinguishable possibilities mean more information. When distinguishable possibilities increase, information increases. When possibilities decrease, information decreases. Up to this point, information depended only on states. But physics operates through fields. Physics already uses fields everywhere. Temperature fields, energy fields, potential fields. So the next question appears, can information itself become a field? Yes, information can be written as a field, I of X. This is extremely important. At the beginning, space did not exist. Now X represents an effective coordinate emerging from distinguishability itself. Coordinates are not assumed. Coordinates emerge from informational structure. We now define information density. Information density measures distinguishable structure per unit volume. The limit process examines smaller and smaller regions. Delta phi represents a tiny volume element. Information density measures how much distinguishable structure exists locally. Information becomes additive. Separate informational regions combine into larger informational structure. Information locally decreases or remains stable. This introduces irreversibility. This informational loss creates the direction of time. We now introduce informational current. J represents flow, I represents information. This object describes how information moves. The divergence of informational flow becomes negative because irreversibility destroys accessible information. Sigma sub I measures local irreversible informational loss. We can now reinterpret time itself. Time becomes accumulated irreversibility. Gradients describe how information changes across the informational field. Second derivatives measure informational curvature. This is where geometry will begin to emerge. Geometry itself will emerge from informational structure, not the other way around. We have now constructed information, information density, informational flow, irreversibility, and the informational origin of geometry. The deepest physical quantity is not energy, it is informational structure itself. In the next lesson, we will construct geometry itself. We will ask, how does space emerge?